What is up, guys? Gash here, and today I'm going to be showing you all of my legendary items in Borderlands. Now, I know a lot of items are actually a lot better than legendary items, but that still hasn't stopped me from going and spending hours collecting all the useless named items in the game. So, let's go ahead and check out my collection. As always, if you like the video, like and subscribe, comment below if you want to see me do more stuff. Alright, starting with my the first one on the list is the Gunnerang, dropped by Rackman. I'm not a big fan of TDR guns, but this one's kind of fun to play around with. Like most TDR guns, when thrown, it will fly off in the distance and explode. However, due to the red flavor text, give it a burl, when thrown, rather than exploding on contact, it will actually boomerang back to you and explode behind your character if it doesn't hit anything. The next weapon on the list is the Thunderball Fists. It can either be dropped by Sparky from the Wham Bam Island DLC or from Captain Flint in the regular game. The eye can have such a thing. When fired, whenever it hits a target, it will immediately fire a projectile up into the air and explode like a bouncing Betty landmine. It's an okay gun, but I don't use it. Next up is the Hornet. One of the easiest drops because it's dropped by Knuckle Dragger, the first boss. The Hornet, Fear the Swarm, it doesn't really have any special effects. It just has the highest fire rate for any dull pistol because it burst fires so many times. The Hellfire, dropped by Scorch in the Frostburn Canyon. We don't need no fire. It has the highest chance for elemental effect for any SMG and can also cause burst fire. So whenever you shoot something with it, it can actually explode with the fire like a barrel or something like that. Next up is the Emperor, dropped by any of the 4 Hyperion Assassins in the Steam and Power. You know, for him. Also has the highest burst fire for a dull SMG. It actually looks pretty cool. I kind of wish I had that skin for my character, but what are you going to do? Alright, next up is the Conference Call, one of my least favorite guns, and I know I'm probably going to get dogged on a lot for that because I know a lot of people like that gun, but it's just, I just can't understand the firing pattern. Let's just ping everyone all at once. Can be dropped by the Handsome Sorcerer, Handsome Jack himself, the Warrior, and I think a few other people, I don't know. But the unique thing about this gun is whenever you fire it and it hits something, or just when you fire it, it will explode and fire back in all 4 cardinal directions, which is why I just can't stand it because of how inaccurate I am with it. The Flacker, Flack the World. This is more of, I guess, a prank gun because of how, I don't know. It's best in small spaces. Whenever you fire it, it explodes and basically does, I guess, a hallway clearing pattern? I don't know. Good gun, though. It can be dropped by the Warrior. I don't know if I said that already. The Pitchfork. Mainstreamed. This gun looks really cool, and it's got a pretty good burst fire on it, but the main thing about this gun is whenever it's fired, it fires off in 5 directions, similar to a pitchfork, making it really bad for snipers, actually. So whenever you're firing in at close range, though, I guess is when it's best at. I don't remember who drops it, and I honestly don't remember where I got it. I think I got it from a loot chest. I don't know, though. Logan's Gun. Gunner. I think it just has one of the highest accuracies of any gun in the game. I don't know. You can get this little gun from the boss Wilhelm. He also drops the Rolling Thunder, which I'll get to in a little bit. Next up is the Double Gub, or just the Gub, Ab Natural. It has the highest magazine rate, or one of the highest for any bandit gun, and also deals high corrosive damage. This can be dropped by Laney White, and I think her midgets drop it, but I think it's just her. Next up is the Baby Maker, who's a little gunny wunny. This gun can explode upon contact like every TDR gun, but instead of just a single explosion, it can explode, causing a smaller TDR gun of itself to also explode. This is dropped by Henry the Stalker. Pertinent Pyrophobia. It's actually a fairly rational figure in this case. It can be dropped by, what was his name? Incinerator Clayton, that's it. In the Frostburn Canyons. This gun novas whenever you fire it, similar to a Nova shield, so when it fires straight, it will nova in the air. It's actually a pretty good gun. Straight shootin' Maggie. Monty's wife don't take no guff. This pistol fires 6 shots similar to a smasher or a masher, and can be dropped by the Zafford family during the Zafford and Hodonk feud on the train tracks. The Bada Boom Multi-Kill. This is a favorite of mine because of how much destructive potential it has. It can be dropped by King Mong in the Iridium Blight. This gun, other than causing you to rocket jump, has one of the highest burst capacities of any bandit bazooka or any bandit gun, period, which makes it a really good bazooka. Rolling Thunder. When thrown, it bounces, explodes, causing a MIRV effect, and each time it explodes, causing more MIRVs and more bouncing. This weapon can be dropped by Wilhelm. Lobbed Bonus Package. This gun, this grenade, when thrown, causes 2 grenades to be thrown at the same time, similar to Salvador's perk, and does not cost any extra grenades. Mine was also a MIRV, so it made it obscenely effective at such a low level. This can be dropped by Boom or Boom. The Firestorm. Now this one requires the Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep DLC because it is only dropped by the mages in that DLC, and it's actually kind of good. What manner of man are you that can summon up fire without flint or tinder? When thrown, it causes a normal fireball explosion like you might expect. However, afterwards, it causes a firestorm to rain down, obviously by the name. The Neo Generator. For an impenetrable shield, stand inside yourself. It increases your max health and elemental resistance to every single element that's ranged, melee, all the elements in the game, and by 64%. So, this is dropped by the Spyco in Frostburn Canyons during the Monster Mash mission for Dr. Zed. It's a pretty good shield if you're looking for something to make you basically invincible. I think it goes up to 85% or 75%, I don't know, but I think I got a pretty low one. But it's a pretty good shield altogether. The Sham. Wow, I can do this all day. This is a pretty epic shield, and it also helps for several of the challenges because they're just annoying without it. It allows you to absorb a crap ton of your enemy's bullets and has the highest absorb chance of any Vladoff shield, from 85 up to I think 94% or 95, some people said. But it is just an insane shield for anyone shooting at you. You can just absorb it and ignore him. The Flame of the Firehawk, one of the easiest legendaries to get, as it is a simple quest reward. From the ashes, she will rise. Like any Nova shield, this one does a Fire Nova. However, this one has the most Fire Novas per recharge, and I think it can also recharge while Nova-ing. The Cradle, to the grave. This one doesn't have the greatest capacity for the level that it's at. However, when the shield capacity runs out, shield is disposed of upon depletion with explosive results. When the shield is depleted, the shield will fly off of you and explode, similar to a TDR gun. I guess that explains why it's the TDR shield then. And finally, for my vault is the B. The Sham can be dropped by the Bunker. The Flame of the Firehawk is a quest reward for completing Incinerator acquaintance tasks. The Cradle can be dropped by Henry the Stalker. And finally, the B. Float like a butterfly. It allows you to amp shot on any weapon. However, the drain capacity is 0. So long as you have a shield, you can continuously amp fire without it taking away any of your shield. The B can be dropped by any of the, I think, treants or the orcs in Tiny Tina's campaign. I got it from a treant, but I think it actually has a drop. I just don't know what it is. That's going to do it for my vault weapons. Now on to my inventory weapons, because I have way too many. Next up is the Ogre. Ogres chew their food. This can be also found in Tiny Tina's Dragon Keep during the Murderland Temple's quest. In the final wave of it, you can face a badass orc warlord known as Warlord Slog. However, sometimes I don't think he appears. But this is probably one of my favorite weapons because of it fires in one of the highest fire rates of any gun. It just has a high spin-up speed, and the fact that it has so much ammunition and it fires rockets makes it just an extremely versatile weapon. It's not the most accurate, but it's just a great gun. The ultra-precise Bunny. Look at the little bunny. Hop, hippity hop. This gun I honestly don't like, but I got it anyway because, it's legendary. This can also be dropped by treants, but I don't know the precise drop for it. When thrown, since it's TDR, it does a rubberized effect similar to grenades, so it hops around on the ground, which makes it really annoying and inaccurate. Next up is the Sublime Volcano. I don't know who drops this. I'm just gonna go ahead and say it. I don't know. I got it from a chest and a bunch of random loot drops. Peel, since I guess that's a spelling error, but it says Peel humbly requests a sacrifice if it's not too much trouble. Since in the first Borderlands, the flavor text was Pete demands a sacrifice! Exclamation point. So this one's going a bit more subtle with it, since I guess they didn't get any sacrifices. But this one has a very, very high chance to ignite upon contact or burn things. And it's similar to the Hellfire. Whenever it strikes a target, it explodes in a burst of fire like a barrel. The right-sizing bitch. Yup, back. This can be dropped by the Bunker, and I guess is a pretty famous weapon because everyone tries to go after it. But I've seen a lot of times that it's best used for Necromancers, but yeah, it has a very high accuracy and a very high weapon fire rate. It also does a great critical hit chance, and the magazine size is also pretty good, so great weapon all around. That's dropped by the Bunker, if I didn't say. The Balanced Slaga, one of my favorite guns. Blagagagaga. It has a high magazine capacity, pretty high fire rate. It can be fired up to ×4. It does slag damage. It has really good stability, and it's just a great gun. I love it. It's effective on almost anything, and when combined with a Torgue shotgun or a weapon like the bitch, it's just an insane combination. It can be dropped by the Hodunks during the Zafford and Hodunk duel on the train tracks. The Nukem, a really annoyingly hard weapon to get as it's only dropped by the Black Queen, or you can just buy it at one of the Torgue weapon vendors in the Torgue Badass campaign of Badassitude. Name Dropper. It has the highest blast range of any gun in the game, indicating the fact that it is the Nukem. But it does okay damage. If you get a higher one, it does even better, but the main thing it does is blast radius, which is good. The Vieric. I want that rifle, daddy. Similar to the pitchfork, it fires in a tri-pattern, and I also love the color scheme. It is dropped by Mobley, or whatever the... Yeah, it's Mobley. During the, I think the... I can't remember the Trekskin duel at high noon. I can't remember what the mission is called, but it's a mission for Mordecai later on in the game. Pretty good weapon overall. Since I'm a huge doll fan, I love this gun. I just can't stand the firing pattern of it. The Kerr Blaster. Torg got more boom. It has a high magazine capacity, high melee damage, and a high explosive damage for being a Torg gun. Also has a unique pattern on it for Torg, and it is dropped by Midgmong in the Blackburn Canyon. It's an okay gun, but I don't really fancy it. The Rapid Infinity. This gun took forever to farm. It is dropped by Doc Mercy, and it has a magazine capacity of 1. It's closer than you think. No, it isn't. It has infinite ammo due to the fact that whenever it is fired, the system in the gun actually reuses the spent cartridge and reatomizes a new bullet, digitizing the same bullet over and over and over again. So it's not really infinite, it's just creating the same bullet over and over. So I guess it's infinite. But that's dropped by Doc Mercy in the Three Horns. Oh, that's not legendary. The Legendary Psycho Class mod. I got this entirely by accident. I got it from the Dragons, or the Ancient Legendary Invincible Dragons and Tiny Tina's DLC. There are different Legendary Psycho Class mods, such as the Legendary Torch or the Legendary Slab, but this is the one I got. One day, I'll escape this hell, and you'll be gone. Nibble salads! Alright, the Lob Stormfront Vladoff. Similar to the Firestorm, whenever this grenade is thrown, it explodes and then causes a lightning storm to strike down. Sometimes lightning does strike twice. I also have a pearlescent shield dropped by one of the Stormfront is dropped by the Wizards, I think. I don't know. I got it from a chest. The Blockade, am I living or am I dying? Provides major damage resistance when fully charged and moderate damage resistance when not fully charged. So no matter what, this shield does in fact protect you from things. Whereas if it were full, it does the maximum, whereas if it's half, it does half the damage. When it's empty, it still does, I think, a third of the damage resistance. So no matter what, you're being protected while wearing it. This is one of, I think, 3 drops from the Tiny Tina's DLC of the Ancient Dragons. The Sham. I already showed this one, but this is the one for one of my other characters. This one has an 87% chance, is a lot better than the other one I had. Alright, moving on to my final set of weapons, which is my last pearlescent guns, I think. Which I couldn't carry them in my vault because I just have an overabundance of guns. I just have way too many. In this one, I have 2 flavors of each: the Purging Stinger and the Unending Stinger. The Unending does fire damage, and the Purging does slag. It's like butter, baby. It has a high fire rate, a high ammo capacity, and very low damage. However, due to the effects on it, which increases the melee damage, or the elemental damage by a lot, it's a great weapon, especially if you have 2 of them. Next up is the Swiss Omen, Slag, and Fire. I'm gonna need you to stand back. This also has a high elemental effect chance, and high fire rate, or slag damage for explosions, since it's 2-yor. Since they're E-Tech guns, they also do special E-Tech firing. I don't really like the shotgun since it's more like a grenade launcher, so I don't use it, but it's got okay damage. But yeah, alright. That's gonna do it for all my legendary guns, and I hope you enjoyed the video, and like and subscribe below. I know I'm missing a lot of legendaries, and I'll probably be working on that at some point. But yeah, if there's anything you guys will see me do, comment below, like and subscribe, and I will see you next time.